Hey guys, it's time for another edition of Why Are You Awake? Paul Farahvar here, your host. This week we have comedian Stephen Haas. You got to follow him. He's got amazing clips everywhere on social medias. And enjoy this episode of the podcast. We're on youtube.com/PaulFComedy. If you're listening, go watch it. Go check out my website, paulfcomedy.com, for upcoming dates. And make sure you review us if you haven't already. All the stars in the world would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to check out our sponsors. Hey gang, as some of you know, I used to be a practicing lawyer in Chicago. I no longer practice, but from time to time, I need a lawyer. And when I need a lawyer, I call my friend Scott Shapiro. Scott Shapiro has been practicing law for over 25 years in Chicago. He does it all, from workers' compensation to personal injury, employment issues, and even entertainment law and contract needs. If you need a lawyer, call my friend Scott. 312-648-8800. That's 312-648-8800. Or you can email him at scott@scottshapirolegal.com. Tell him I sent you.
Do you have to do that?
No, I just feel like it'll be good. Ready?
Yeah.
Welcome to Why Are You Awake? Paul Farahvar here. I'm your host. People think this podcast sounds like it's something psychological or talking about people who have sleep disorders. That's not what it's about. It's about people who are up late at night, and mostly comedians talking about their being night owls. When I thought about typical night owls like myself, one of the people that came up is one of my favorite comedians. Very funny, doing amazing content online, and he refused to come back on my other podcast, Singles Only. So I made sure that he was one of the first guests on Why Are You Awake? Stephen Haas. Hi, Stephen.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for starting a new podcast to have me on as a guest.
So why are you single, Stephen? No, I'm just just to watch you squirm.
I think you gave me the broken headphones.
I think maybe your head is a little off.
Okay.
Is it working?
Yeah, I think it's working.
Okay. You can hear yourself?
I can, yeah.
Okay, so we'll get better equipment for you next time.
Your next podcast.
The next time you come on this podcast. Stephen, You are one of the people I remember during the quarantine. You were up later than me, and I was up pretty much later than anyone I knew, which was, I think, Michael.
How did you know how late I was up?
Because I think I was like, hey, I'm going to come by to grab something. I think I was grabbing files or something from your apartment. And I was like, is it going to be too late? It's this weird. It's 2:00. You're like, no, I'm up till like 4. I'm like, what? Are you still up that late? Like 4 in the morning?
Nah, like 2.
Okay.
But then it takes me a while to fall asleep.
Well,
so I'll go to bed at 2, but then who knows when I'm going to be asleep.
What do you do? What's your nighttime ritual to try to fall asleep?
That's the thing. I don't really have one. I just sort of do my best.
Do you watch TV to fall asleep, or you're just...
No, I put on a podcast sometimes when I
fall asleep to Singles Only. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
no.
It's a thrilling podcast.
You listen to a podcast?
Well, I'll put on like a news podcast, something like BBC News, and then listen to that and just try to fall asleep.
Just hearing about death and famine all around the world just helps you?
With a British accent.
Is that what helps you fall asleep?
Yeah, it helps. Just having something playing. I guess I used to go to sleep just without listening to anything. Do you put on music or anything, or TV? Or?
I need to sleep with TV on, and I need a little light because I don't like complete darkness. Do you sleep in complete darkness?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I feel like it makes sense for you.
Yeah, I don't know how you fall asleep with the TV on because it's changing colors and stuff. Doesn't that affect you?
No, I fall asleep to it. As long as it's something like not something like the news or something that's going to keep me invested. It's light. A lot of sitcoms from the 70s and 80s I watch to fall asleep to.
Okay.
I think it's really relaxing because I've probably seen them on Nick at Night for years, and now it's on again. I'm like, I'm not invested in the story because I kind of know what's happening.
That's actually
it's like comfort level.
Yeah.
So when did you become like a night owl? Were you in high school, in college? Were you always up late, or is this something that became?
I guess like in high school, I was up relatively late, but in high school, you have to wake up at 6 a.m. No matter what. And so if you're up till 1 a.m, then you're still waking up at 6.
Yeah.
So then I was just pretty miserable all day. So now I'm doing better. Now I'm like, oh, I sleep in a little more. Everything's going good.
So if you go to bed at 2, you're getting up at what, like 9 or 10?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No.
That's pretty. You're still getting most of the day in, I think.
Yeah. I like to think I'm getting most of the day in.
Fuck.
Did you not hit record?
I did not hit record. Oh, you did? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So we're good. I'll just start recording.
So wait, did you record it now?
Yeah.
So wait, were you recording, Justin? Oh, okay.
I have a feed. That's
So what do you need me for?
Yeah, why does he have to record it all?
because your audio is recording the individual channels. It's just a redundant.
Oh.
So imagine if I had failed, then we would be grateful that we had yours.
Okay.
Okay. Well, there we are. We just had a little temporary setback, rookie error.
Well, you can cut that out, right?
Oh, we're keeping it in.
Oh, cool.
No, we'll cut it out. So you're talking about, we had a little issue here. You were talking about you still get up at 9 or 10, so you're still experiencing most of the day.
I am, Paul. Yeah. Yeah.
For me,
Well, I'm not retired, Paul. I am experiencing most of the
I get up sometime. If I get up before 12, I'm happy. And
Okay.
sometimes I miss out on so much.
What time are you going to bed?
Well, during COVID, I was going to bed around 5 or 6.
Okay.
It was like reverse almost.
So that's the day.
And I feel like you did that for a while too, didn't you?
Maybe like the depths of COVID, but yeah, not like normally.
I remember one time, or not just one time, but a series of times where I'd be going to sleep I'd fall asleep to WGN morning news, and I'd be texting Pat Tomasulo, who would just be getting to work. And I'm like, I'm watching it. He's like, are you still awake? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to bed though. So tell me something boring.
Yeah.
And that was how reversed people's, and he goes to bed at like 8.
Yeah. Well, he goes to bed at 6 in the afternoon.
He has to go first on all shows.
Every show, yeah.
But in high school you just dealt with it? What about college? You get to pick your classes and shit.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of afternoon classes.
Yeah.
A couple 9 a.m. classes that I wasn't thrilled about.
wouldn't
But
take-
yeah, as an adult, you get to sort of pick a life where you don't have to wake up at 6 a.m. every day.
What about when you had day jobs? Was that a struggle for you?
I was pretty miserable at those 9 to 5s. I don't get how anyone does any work.
I feel like I would have been a lot happier as a lawyer. If I didn't have morning court, I would have still probably been a lawyer. Like that to me was the only thing. I remember one interview I had where like, we have mandatory meetings once a week at 8:30 on Wednesdays. I'm like, well, I'm out. This is never going to happen.
Yeah. If my lawyer was up till 6 a.m., I'd probably ask for a change of counsel.
I wasn't doing that back then. I was like going to bed at 1 or 2. But when I was doing comedy late at night, after you do a show, even if you're super tired, you're still wired for a while,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Even a low energy comedian like yourself, you're probably like that.
I'm like shaking. Yeah.
You're still adrenaline. So what do you do with that?
What do you mean? What do I do with that? Well,
Yeah,
I
what
stay
do you-
up late.
Well,
That's why I'm on the late show here. You mean?
What do you typically do post show? What's your ritual? Like, I know you don't like to socialize. So like most comedians, we don't want to deal with. Sometimes you need to have some solidarity. But what do you do? Because you're also kind of like that.
I guess I go home. I'll walk. I like to walk. So sometimes
Late at night in this neighborhood?
yeah, or I'll take a divvy. Sometimes I'll just divvy, from the club to my house or my apartment. And
Divvy is a bicycle. For
oh
those
yeah,
who
that's
don't
it.
know.
Ride the city bike but yeah, no, I don't really like go to the bar or
But
go crazy like you or whatever you do after the show.
I don't drink, Steven. Come
Oh,
on.
sorry.
What do you ever go get food late at night? Or are you like eating like proper meals?
No, I usually eat dinner like at 10 or 11.
After a show.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do eat after a show.
Yeah.
Do you eat before a show?
Yeah. The previous meal.
No.
This podcast is trash, guys. This fucking sucks.
No, this is just a separate question because I don't eat 2 hours before a meal. Is that
Like surgery? What do you don't eat 2 hours before a meal? Wait, what
before
are you
a show? I
talking
mean,
about?
I'm sorry. Before a
Oh.
show, most people don't eat, or some people think it's weird. Like they'll have free food.
Do you think you'll look bloated?
I feel bloaty on stage if I
Really?
eat. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like I'm already low energy as it is on stage, so I feel like if I
Yeah, you don't have a big pizza.
I don't want to eat, and then I'm just like slower. It's just, and your brain is processing the food that you ate too.
I've never even thought about that.
Well, now you have. You've already learned something.
I'll drink. I mean, I drink coffee before shows to wake up, but that's
That's fine. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll drink Red Bulls. I'll do whatever. But eating is the one thing that just makes me like. I remember I saw a comedian like a steak meal that they brought him right before he went on stage. I'm like, how are you going to do an hour right now?
Yeah.
The first thing I do after a show is get food.
That's
no matter what.
Yeah, you're a big like you want to go to the diner guy.
Yeah, you've come with us, right?
I've gone to the diner with you.
So, yeah. Well, I don't want to give them the name because they're not a sponsor yet. We're working on it. Don't say the name.
I'm not going.
Don't fucking say the name.
I don't even remember where we went.
Good. Don't say it, even if you remember.
Yeah.
So, college, what did you do what were you doing late at nights in college? Were you like making videos like this at VHS?
What kind of a podcast is this?
I want to know your process, buddy.
I don't know. Just, I'm just staying up late. You can't go to sleep, so you stay up late.
But you weren't a partier in college, were you?
Not really, no. I guess that is what people do when they stay up late, right?
Well, when I was in college,
we do, apparently. But.
No, well, when I was in college, I drank a lot and I partaked in drugs and stuff like that. So,
do you think that's like why you're a night owl now? Because you were?
No, I was a night owl dating back to 8th grade. I was always up. I was always up. My parents let me watch like late night TV until I got to see the monologues on the Tonight Show till 10:45, and then I'd go to bed.
Okay.
That was like an 8th.
When you were 13,
yeah. When I was a kid, I was miserable in school the next day.
Yeah.
And I always kind of had that night owl tag. Then I was a musician in college, so I was up late anyway, doing shows. And then even in law school, I was night owl. I always was, even when I had a full-time job. So, but I was doing things at night that were vices.
Yeah.
What was your excuse? What could you have done? Clearly, you weren't productive back then. If you were, you'd be a lot more successful.
What else? What was I doing? I would play some video games sometimes.
That's where it is at.
Yeah, because then you got the screen, the bright lights shining in your eyes, and then you're not falling asleep. You don't play video games, though. So
I don't. It's a waste of time.
Yeah, whereas we do this. Cool.
This is productive.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you feel like you're ever missing out on stuff because you're not up in the morning? Like those people that are early bird people, do they have something that?
No, because you can still like work out at night. You can like do stuff that they're doing at 6 a.m. You can be doing that at 11 p.m.
Yeah. Do you do that?
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, and there's not, I mean, it's stand-up comedy and stuff. It's not like answering the emails at 7 a.m. is going to really put you over the edge.
Well, some people feel like you wake up early or you start your day early, you get all your errands done. I do feel like I'm always rushing to get, and I think you have a joke about this where the banks are open. Like, I'm like, I'm never, like, I found out Target by me is open at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. Like, who the fuck is up that early?
Yeah.
But I'm always the one that's like, when are you guys closing? Because that's when I'm going to go do my errands. So I do feel like I'm missing out on stuff like that. Like I can get a lot more done, but
have you ever tried setting an alarm and waking up?
I've tried so many things to trick my brain. During COVID, a lot of my friends switched from being night owls to becoming daytime people.
Yeah.
Normals. And they just wouldn't take naps. They would just fall whatever time they went to bed. Let's say they went to bed at 2, they'd wake up at 8 the next day and just be tired and miserable for the day. And then force themselves. They'd be so tired that they'd pass out at 10, and then they just broke the cycle. But every time I do that, if I am super tired, I'll take a nap or I'll like fall asleep and then I'll wake up. Have you done that where you wake up?
Yeah, I've taken a 3-hour nap at like 5 in the afternoon, and then it's 8 p.m. and you're like, oh fuck,
the whole day is ruined. Or if you go to bed at like, sometimes I've gone to bed like falling asleep before midnight, but then I'll also like, once I do that, I'll still wake up at like 3 in the morning. I'm like, all right, now what am I going to do? Do you do that too? Do you ever have that happen?
I have done. Yeah, I've done that. We got to get jobs, dude. We got to get like real adult jobs.
Has this affected your personal life in terms of friends that are non-comedians or just relationships where people don't understand why you're like that?
No, I guess not. I don't know. Maybe it has.
Well, I mean, how do you go on dates if you are we're working 7 to 10, which is prime date hours?
Yeah, you mean like, what do you mean I'm working 7 to 10? You mean on shows?
Yeah, I'm saying like,
I don't get booked as much as you, Paul. So thankfully.
That's not true.
No, I guess that's never really been a problem.
You just
I imagine
make
if I tried to schedule a date at 7:30 a.m., that would be more of a red flag.
But I think what I'm saying is if you were to schedule a date after your show, because that's typically when people go on dates is after work. And for
Yeah.
us, work is 9:30 tops as
Yeah.
earliest. Have you tried to do that? Or people are like, I'm not going out with you at 10 a.m.? At 10 p.m., I mean. Sorry.
Yeah, that has happened, I guess, where and then because they kind of probably just think I'm like, let's get a drink real quick and then hook up.
Yeah.
I guess that's what people would think, but it's like, no,
That's just when
that's when the show ends.
Yeah.
But then it's like, whatever.
They don't trust you with your dead eyes.
Okay, yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Brilliant segue. Yeah.
You, first of all, you are crushing it on social media. Your videos are hilarious. You were ahead of the curve on all of that on social media, especially on TikTok with the videos and the sketches. And I remember you and I did one early on about writing a sketch for TikTok. Do you
Yeah, it was like
remember that one?
meta. It was meta before anyone was like using the app.
What
It was
is
terribly timed. Yeah.
it was before TikTok. It was before you even, I think TikTok had just come out, right?
Yeah, it was like about not knowing how to write a sketch for TikTok on TikTok in early days of TikTok.
Yeah.
And it didn't do very well on TikTok.
That one didn't do well.
No, that one, no.
We need to reissue it maybe.
Okay.
No? I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny. We cut out a lot of the parts that were really funny, I thought.
I don't remember that.
So I remember it partially because I had to watch it. I watched it recently, where there was parts that you had written
Yeah.
where where I have to call my niece to ask her about things that kids are talking about because we're
Okay.
trying to come up with topics to do TikTok on.
Yeah.
And then one of the parts was, are you having sex? I'm asking my fake niece, and then you're like, no, don't tell your uncle I asked, because it was such a weird. It was a little darker. You cut it out of the final.
I don't remember that at all.
I do.
But
I was like, well, Steven knows best.
okay. Yeah.
Cut out
I'll
the
go back and I'll look
If you
at
have
it.
the raw edit, maybe if
I have the raw footage.
The raw footage,
from
yeah.
2019.
Was it from 2019?
I don't know. Wasn't it pre-pandemic?
Yeah, I guess you're right. It had been. But then I wrote a sketch for you that you just told me is no longer your best one, which is the Dead Eyes one, which you were hesitant to do.
Yeah, I was a little hesitant to do. I didn't really get it. I remember when you sent me the script, I was like, okay, I got it. I got the first half and then I didn't really get the second half. And then we shot it and I was like, oh, I didn't get the second half still. And then I edited it and I still didn't really get I still don't understand the second half. The first half I like.
Okay, so you didn't get it.
I still don't get it.
I remember we were filming. You're like, wait, and I go, why? What is so hard to understand about this? And then,
yeah, okay.
And then we didn't have a couple people, so we went to the Laugh Factory. I'm like, hey, do you want to be in this sketch? We had Kristen Toomey just play.
Yeah, which is
whoever
usually not how like good sketches come about. Where
Right.
You're just like, who's here?
No,
Do you want to be in a sketch right now?
But there wasn't
worked.
a line. Like they just had to be. We just needed a person
Yeah.
to react to you asking a question. There was no line, so I was like,
Yeah.
I'll get someone, because I knew if we went there it would be easy because there's like 20 people on the show.
Yeah.
And you were so hesitant to do it, and then it
Well,
did
I like
well.
to have a plan. Yeah.
It did well.
It did very well.
Yeah. So then I tried to do for those of you who don't know, go back and watch Dead Eyes. It was one of the top Stephen
even gonna
Haas
find
videos.
Yeah,
Oh, is it
scroll through my
buried?
profile. It's probably like 30 videos deep.
I posted it on my YouTube
Okay,
recently,
yeah.
but no one saw it. But I thought you did so. I thought it was so funny, and I remember when you showed it to me, I'm like, oh, this is hilarious. You did such a good job with the editing and like closing it up. You kind of saw the vision I saw, which is funny because you didn't even.
I get the first half.
What don't you get about the second half?
The structure of it, I don't really understand, and I don't really.
So the concept is this girl you're going on a date tells you that
I know. I
her
know. I
friend-
understand the logic behind the
her
characters.
friend thinks you have dead eyes.
I don't get why the second half is funny.
The second half is funny because you hunt her down, and the music is so dark
Yeah.
and melancholy that they think you're going to do something to this woman.
Yeah.
And all you do is say, you're the dead eyes, and then
Yeah.
you scream it.
It's literally like 2.5 minutes building to an anti-joke.
Wow.
And
Clearly,
I
the
looked at that
algorithm
and I
liked it.
was like, all right, if this is what Paul, you know, if this is what is funny.
And
And
call
it-
in right now if you want to see dead
And
eyes.
you were correct because it got a lot of views.
And I think that the second one, I have the sequel I sent to you. You're hesitant to do it, and I promise you, it'll do better than the first. It'll be like Rocky 2.
I can almost guarantee it will not do better than the first one. But I'm down to shoot it.
How many people saw the first one?
I think a couple million.
Okay. I'll put a wager on it that it'll do at least that. With the right production, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, there's a big asterisk.
Well, I think we can do it. I know people. I know people that would be interested in doing it because I think that now that you've built this character, not only the character from that sketch,
from Dead Eyes, the sketch from 3 years ago.
Is it 3 years? Oh shit, you're right. God, I think that it now that you've got this character, this persona you've created,
Okay.
which is just
I've
you.
shaped around Dead Eyes. Yeah.
No. I'm saying separate from that.
Okay.
It's just already now people know you better from your other sketches and the persona that it's going to be easier
Okay.
for them to accept who you are.
In Dead Eyes 2.
In Dead Eyes 2.
Do you want to explain what Dead Eyes 2 the sketch looks
No,
like?
'cause I don't want to give away the you can't give away the milk without the cow. I don't know the saying, but I
Okay.
know. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I guess. I think the sketch has 3 beats.
It does.
It has 3.
I'm nothing if I'm not
Can
structured.
I say what the 3 beats are?
Sure.
The first beat is I'm on stage performing stand-up comedy.
Yes.
The second beat is someone heckles me. The third beat is I kick the shit out of him. That's it. That's the sketch, right?
No, there's a fourth part.
What's the fourth beat?
There's a callback to the first.
The first Dead Eyes from 3 years ago?
Yes.
There's
Yes.
no way anyone's going to watch this.
I think they will.
Okay.
I think they will. It's going to be our hit. We
People
might
are
get
gonna-
awards. Is there some sort of TikTok
Honey, that's
award?
a callback to the sketch from 3 years ago.
People remember it. There's 3 million people there.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm game.
3 million people can't be wrong.
That's true. We got to find someone to edit it and shoot it, though,
Okay.
because that's a lot of work. Dead Eyes was a lot of work.
Really?
Yeah, Paul, it was. It's the people that don't know, that don't edit it. They don't know.
I've edited stuff. I mean, just clips, but
Yeah.
still. I know what Premiere Pro means.
It means, yeah, Premiere Professional. It's
I know what camera lenses are. I just learned 14 millimeter means.
yeah. You're learning this stuff, so you should edit Dead Eyes too.
Maybe I will if I get the raw footage.
Yeah, you know what raw footage is, so you're ahead of the
Mario
curve
step
there.
ahead.
Yeah.
I think the funniest thing is when I told you I got a new camera,
Yeah.
and then you came and like laughed at it. You're
Oh, you like
I
it was a
thought we were
toy?
the same.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, it wasn't. That's a nice camera.
I know, but you.
It's
mocked
something
me.
you would give to like your niece, and you'd be like, "You should try photography. You can take pictures with this."
It's 4K, you motherfucker.
That's true. Yeah,
Barely.
yeah. I mean, phones are 8K now, so it's like half of a phone camera.
Phones are 8K.
Some are, yeah.
Oh, I don't know where these. Well, not this phone over here.
Yeah, the flip phone.
Not
Okay.
the flip phone. So we have here. So going back to being a night owl,
Yeah.
the negatives we've talked about. What are the pros? Like, why? What are the pros of being up when nobody else is awake that you found in your life?
I think it's easier to get work done when there's like nothing's happening on social media. No one's awake. You know, it's like everyone's asleep.
Do you think
No, I
that
can-
helps you in being productive with all the things that you're doing, editing, all the clips you're doing, all the writing you do? Do you do a lot of the writing as
I think
well?
it's a lot easier to edit at night. I think it's kind of hard to stay focused when like people are texting you and stuff's going on social media. Yeah, I'll often just edit for like 4 hours at night.
Anything else you do at night that's like that you wouldn't be able to do during the day? Like, do you get writing done after shows? Some people are crazy lunatics that write after shows.
Yeah, but I think that's just because you're in the right mindset. You know, you were just on stage thinking like in the comedy mindset, and it just sort of bleeds over. But
You don't? Do you do that?
yeah, sometimes I'll like after you get off stage, don't you sometimes like think of
Yeah, at the
jokes
club.
that
I'm
you
just
want to do
talking
on the
about-
next show?
Sure, but I'm
Oh.
talking about like when you're home.
Oh no, I don't
Before-
really like sit down with
Yeah.
the pen and paper.
No. Anything else that you do at nights that you wouldn't be able to do that or during the day, or that gives you a benefit or leg up of people that are normals?
Not really, no.
Do you think that you became, so you kind of you tend to be an introvert? Is it fair to say you're an introvert?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit?
Sure. I don't know.
You're a lot.
Thank you. Okay.
So would you say that came first, or were you like this, because of your lifestyle, you became more introverted? Do you think it's isolated you more because you stay up late, or do you think it's the other way around? Like, did you always?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I know. I should
really be talking to someone in like a clinical setting about this.
No, I'm
like
just curious because I don't know the answer for me, but I feel like for you, there's clearly, and I didn't know you as a kid. I have an idea.
That would be kind of weird if
I have a good idea.
I found out you did. Okay, yeah.
No, but
what did you think I was like as a kid?
I think you were, well, for me, I had an older brother who was significantly older than me, so I have a lot of only child tendencies. But you have a brother that's relatively close in age, so you have like only child, middle child symptoms.
Okay,
but you're not.
I am a middle child.
I know, but you're close in age, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But okay.
I'm a big believer in sibling. What do you call it? The
dynamics.
The dynamics and the higher, like first, second, third. I can't think of the word right now. People are going to go nuts.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a book on it and how it affects your personality and everything you do, including, people that go into the arts, people that go into creatives tend to be.
But you don't have any siblings besides the one that's like 20 years older than you, right?
Yeah,
he's
7 years older.
You are an older.
I am an
child.
only child. Yeah.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, but and then also it matters when you have a younger sister and older brother. Things like that also play in a role too in how you are. But that's more with relationships. But with you being kind of introverted and isolating in a way, like did that make you become more of a night owl? I don't know. I don't know the answer because I didn't know you.
Man, Paul, I think I'm a night owl because I can't go to sleep at night. And if I could fall asleep at 9 p.m., I would do that.
So
and then I'd wake up at 6 a.m.
So you think there's more cons than pros?
I'm really jealous of those people where they just like sit down on the couch and then they're just like asleep.
Yeah. Do you ever take like melatonin or anything like that?
No, I guess I could. I don't know. Does that stuff work?
It does, but you have fucked up dreams.
Okay, I don't really want to have fucked up dreams.
They're not like you're not.
Am I like killing children in my dreams? At least I got some
Jason
sleep.
doesn't just show up in your dreams or like Freddy Krueger. It's just like they're vivid.
Oh, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, some of it is. It's cool because you're just reliving things that you thought about all day, but then it's like fucking trippy.
And are you hungover the next day?
I'm not, but a lot of people, they are like that too. And then also you get dependent on it where you have to do more.
Yeah,
more, so you don't want to do
that.
Just don't do it every time, but you can do it every once in a while. I got some gummies, melatonins.
Can I take some with me after the podcast?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
See if it helps.
I'll try it, yeah. I'll take a handful of melatonin gummies.
I take half of
try to
one.
kill myself.
I take half of one.
Okay, yeah.
And it does make you a little drowsy, but yeah, I don't know. So it sounds like you would rather be a normal person.
Yeah, I'd rather be a morning person, for sure.
I don't know if I want to.
But I don't know. You want to know what I realized as I was walking around at like noon the other day? My eyes hurt during the day. Like the sun is very bright.
Yeah.
Do you notice that? Someone said it was because I had blue eyes, and people with blue eyes have more sensitive.
No, I have super sensitive eyes. I used to play tennis when I was a kid, and I'd play with sunglasses on. And I had to have like the band around me because my eyes were so sensitive.
See, I think that's more likely the explanation for why we're up at night as opposed to whatever shitty book you read about siblings.
I think there's multiple reasons. But yeah, I mean, I definitely am not a big fan. I mean, I like 4 to 5, the sun when it's coming. Like it's not as strong, but noon is bright. It's hard.
Yeah, and I look around and no one else seems to be bothered by how bright the sun is. And you can't talk
you
about it.
Buy sunglasses.
Yeah, I guess so. But they're not wearing sunglasses. No one else is wearing sunglasses.
Have you ever asked anyone, like, isn't this bright?
Yeah, it's strangers on the street. Why is the sun so bright today?
With your creepy mustache you have right now?
Yeah, this is not permanent. They won't be. Oh, wait. Are people going to be able to listen to this, or is it just visual?
They can see both.
I've got a pretty shitty mustache right now.
It's pretty bad. Well, when you came in, I was like, why do you have this? And you're like, it's for something we're filming. Yeah. but it's only one sketch. That's like commitment.
Yeah. What do you mean? Okay.
No, I'm saying like sometimes if you have a role in a film that's multiple days.
Well, it's not like the role requires a mustache. I was just kind of like, oh, it looks pretty shitty.
This will add to the character. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a mustache in something else too, though.
I've grown a mustache before.
In some of the
or
sketches.
facial hair. Yeah. They call me the chameleon. And I grow different facial hair, and then I play the same character.
Same exact character.
Yeah.
Would you want to go into acting? Is that something you'd want to do?
Yeah.
Outside of stuff that you wrote?
Someone paid me, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to go on auditions and shit.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Or like, for the grind of acting seems awful.
Did you ever do that? You lived in LA for a while.
Yeah, but I went on Actors Access, which is a website.
Yeah.
And then I would look around for 5 minutes and I would go, I don't want to do any of this.
Yeah. I'm on there right now. All the time.
Do you look for roles?
Yeah.
It's a lot of like unpaid student films where they're like,
No.
really?
No, you get paid.
Okay.
In fact, some of the commercials that I've shot, I initially get through there and then my agent will call me and be like, do you really want to do this? I'm like, well, tell me more about it. And then it's like $3,000, but you have to go to like St. Louis to say 2 lines. Like I had one callback, but I just couldn't make it work because it was I would have to cancel or I would have to call a club and cancel the Thursday of a weekend that I'm just, it's hard to do that when you're just starting to headline. I was like, I don't want to do that for an acting role, which is good money, but it's a 1-line show.
Yeah. Well, if you have an agent, that's kind of cool.
I have an acting agent. I don't have a comedy agent. Yeah.
No, that'd be.
It's good money. I mean, it pays, but you're rolling.
You're also a good actor. I'm not really much of an actor.
I'm not a good actor.
Yeah, you are. What do you mean?
No, I think there's certain stereotypes where they just need you fit a certain demographic that they need to
Yeah,
fill.
I guess you do have like how you're like the right age, you got nice hair.
I have good hair.
And you're Persian,
ethnically,
right?
ethnically ambiguous is huge, yeah.
With good hair.
Good hair. I can fit in so many age groups too because they don't know what the fuck I am.
Yeah.
The right coloring.
Yeah, so you should definitely be doing acting.
You can do it. You're a fucking chameleon. That's what you just said.
I'm like, do you want a mustache or do you want a goatee?
I mean, the line so this $3,000 role, my line was,
oh, let's do it.
This is it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
I do 6 different takes of, I'll do it to the camera.
Yep. I
go to Paul's. Paul's gets it done. That's it. It was a garage, I think. I don't even know.
They didn't tell you what it was?
I don't remember reading. I'm sure it did, but I didn't read it.
Was it really Paul's or is that you just use your name?
No, it was Paul's.
Oh.
I was like, oh, cool. Like, that's easy to remember.
That's my name. I can remember that.
Like, is that why I got the role? Because they're like, Paul. But yeah, I couldn't do it. It was it was far away. It was like a 6-hour drive.
Yeah, I mean, I could do that. That's what anyone can do that, right?
I got that on. I think I got that on Actors Access.
What was it? I go to Paul's.
I go to Paul's. Like I was at a counter.
Yeah.
I think I was at a counter, and whatever the service was, let's say it was an oil change.
Okay.
And then I was just like, somehow I'm asked why I'm there, and I'm like, I go to Paul's, but which didn't make sense because I was already at the facility, But I wasn't going to question the writer.
Mm-hmm.
See, I feel like you'd be like, I have so many questions.
Why do I go to Paul's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember when I handed you scripts, you're like, I have questions about this.
What does this mean? Yeah. Well, your scripts are like, they're formatted with a lot of guesswork. It's not like a professional.
I give people the room to improvise and add their character.
How do you type your scripts up? That's what another thing I ask you. Do you just do it in the web browser?
No, you made fun of me for that, so I joined the whole thing that you do, the script, the page that you told me to join.
Okay, so now
now I have that. I haven't written anything with it, but now I pay for the service that you shamed.
I don't pay for a service.
Well, I do.
Okay,
it's the one that you told me to get. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah, cool.
You shamed me into it, and now I'm not even writing any
Good,
yeah.
Include some screenshots of the previous drafts you had sent.
I did write those out on Word Perfect.
Yeah.
And I was like, Steven. But there weren't it wasn't like script heavy. It was just like, be creepy, look in the camera, look at the phone.
Yeah. Take a second, guys. Imagine why maybe I would be hesitant to do Deadites too.
No, that was written on a script writing format
Okay.
thing.
Be creepy, Steven. Steven, be creepy now.
No, that's not. I was overcompensating and trying to play into your thing, but this one was written well, and it's gonna crush. You just have to be open.
Dead Eyes too. Do we have to film and edit that to release with this podcast episode?
No.
Okay.
We can film it next week though.
Justin, do you want to film it? For the right price. That's the correct answer. Yeah.
We'll work on it. We'll give you a back end deal. That's what we'll do. We'll monetize it and tell you what you get. 20% of the back end.
You get 10% of the views.
So now you get 10% of the you'll get the 2 points on the back end on the Instagram monetization, which, I mean, on $70, that's
what is that? That's like you're going to be making almost
$7.
$10.
$7 a month if it continues to grow. I don't know. If it does 2 million, that's like $70.
You could be making $70. All we need is $4,000 of your equipment and 20 hours of your time.
I think that it's a good idea, and it's going to pay off, and it's going to be better than Dead Eyes 1.
Okay.
I think we're out of time.
Oh, great! I'm up way past my bedtime.
Are you going to
cut that out?
You're gonna be back at home listening to this podcast to help you fall asleep.
It's gonna help a lot of people fall asleep, Paul.
That's why it's called Why Are You Awake? We're gonna help people like you that go to sleep listen to podcasts. I have a soothing voice, and you're a pretty low energy
yeah, that's
voice.
the problem is with my podcast appearances. It turns into ASMR a little bit, right?
It's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
We'll have a high energy guest the week after next time, so we'll just even it out.
Cool.
Some people, at least now we don't have to worry about waking up my neighbors.
Yeah, how many guests can this podcast really have? How many night people
There's
are
a
there?
lot of people. Well,
Okay.
for me, I consider anyone that's up past 12 a night owl. I think that's fair.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I think that's
What do you think is a night owl? Let's ask you that question.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you sound like you're like somewhat dismissing it.
Yeah, I guess weekday. If you're
Weekday
up,
12, right. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Sorry. Good.
yeah, if you're up till 12, then yeah, it's like you're a night person.
Yeah. If you're up after 12. So I think.
But maybe some people are just manic. Some people are just, they're kind of messed up in the head.
We'll have them on the go.
That'd actually be better guests.
We're both, I think people would think you're messed up in the head. People think I'm messed up in the head.
Interesting. Okay.
You don't think that?
No.
You don't think anyone's said that?
I think
watching
people see
your
me,
sketches,
see
and
me
saying
and my
he's-
content.
Yeah.
Like, what a nice guy. What a nice, normal person.
I don't think you want them to think that. I don't think you'd want that.
Interesting.
Do you really think that?
Sure.
I think you're self-aware enough to know that that's not true. So I think that if you put people that are up past 12, I think that's what 75% of comedians, creatives are up.
I guess so. Yeah, and we recorded this at 10 p.m.
post shows. Usually
Yeah.
going to record post shows, and
Justin's here, and he only has to wake up at 5:30 a.m. So
Yeah.
it's not inconvenient for anyone involved.
no, that's the whole point. And it's easy for me because we're very close to the studio where I go to sleep.
Yeah, you go to bed. Yeah, right over in the other room.
No, this isn't a studio. We rented this studio out.
Oh,
I don't know
sorry.
if
Yeah,
don't
you
tell
can cut
people.
that out.
No, we'll keep it in.
Okay.
You keep saying to cut things out. We're not cutting any of this out, including the fuck up before with my sound.
Cool. Great. Yeah.
Stephen, where can people find out more about you and your projects and your upcoming shows?
My social media, Stephen Haas TikTok, Stephen Haas Insta, Stephen Haas YouTube, youtube.Stephen Haas, youtube.com/@Stephen Haas.
It'll be
/Stephen Haas.
youtube.com
Type
/
Try all of them, guys. It's one of those. youtube.com/Stephen Haas, I think.
Okay. You don't have a website?
And I let it lapse last week.
What's up? Do we?
I've never gotten a gig off my website. No one has seen my website and been like, we should get him to do the show.
I just had someone hit me up to update my website, and I'm wondering why. Why should I?
Yeah, it's like, just check my social media. That's the website of, people
your
who know how to
dates
use
on
the
there?
internet.
Do you put your dates on your website or in your Instagram?
What do you mean, like upcoming shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
I think it's hard to find on there, but yeah, I get it. Well, thank you, Stephen, for coming up and staying up late.
Thank you for having me.
Why Are You Awake? Thank you all for listening to and watching or listening, depending on what you're doing, this episode of Why Are You Awake?